Matthew. I see Kyle. I see Lucas. Who else is in here? Oh, a bunch of you. Yeah, I see Alexis. Yeah. Yeah. I see Bailey. I see, I think that's everybody. Okay, so back to this. We'll see if I keep my smart ink. What do you think the odds are that I'm gonna be able to keep? No, I think it's no. All right, May. We'll find out here in just a second, though, won't we? Okay, so, like I said, this assessment's tomorrow. For those of you that are online, since the schedule's different, fourth period tomorrow is from 10:55 to 11:55. I can't remember how many of you said you might be going to the learning lab. I know with the influx of people, it may have changed a little bit, but I warned her that it might, she knows it might. But your test is tomorrow. Keep in mind, your notebooks are a test grade. Now, I know those of you that came from Miss Callan, you should still have your digital set, and I can show you how to do that. It's just going to be really difficult to do this and do that all at the same time. If you have a paper version, that's no big deal. Digital version, basically, you just create a file in your Google Drive for chemistry, and you drag. We've had 9 sets of notes. They're literally notes 1 through 9, and I can show you what my drive looks like. When we get through this, if there's time. So sig figs. Remember, the only number that sometimes does and sometimes doesn't count is which number? 0. Okay, so since there are no, did I lose my smart ink already? I did. Since there are no zeros on here, what does that tell you? Let's see, where did the smart ink go? Where did the smart ink go? Where are you at, smart ink? I'm gonna figure out which button has it. There it is. I want you to go here. Okay, there. Stupid smart ink. All right. How many is in 31,344? There's 5 of them. And they all count. See if it'll let me write. So, no, it's not going to let me write. I may have to just talk you through this one if it's going to act like that. Didn't put it there. Oh, there, that's where it put it. Let's try this again. What's that? There it is. Go there. Okay, let's see if it'll let me write now. So let's see. No, it's not going to. It's not going to let me write. So 31,344 has 5. What about 39.72? It's got 4. It'll let me do it now. It's not letting me write on the board at all. And then 0.628, that has 3. Yes, technically there should be a 0 in the front. That's the way I was always taught how to do that, and it's not doing that. Let's get rid of the stuff I don't need, and maybe it'll let me do this. Let's try moving this over to the side. Is that, no. Where'd it go? Where'd you go, Smart Ink? I'm hearing music. I should not be hearing music. There we go. It's not going to let me write on it, y'all. It's just not. We'll have to talk through it instead. All right, the 6 big rules, the zeros, this is when sometimes they do and do not count. If a 0 is trapped, does it count? Yeah, so this one has how many? Has 4. I can at least use my cursor. For this second one, that 0 is trapped. So how many does this one have? 3. And then 10,900. This one's trapped. Go away, bar. Go away, bar. That one's trapped, but do the ones in the back count? No, so that bottom one, once that little bar goes away, has how many sig figs? 3 of them. I do not know if you are going to have questions that are this simple. I hope there are. How many sig figs are in this number? Zeros that are behind. Now, If they are behind a number and a decimal, both of them, do they count? Yes. Okay, if they're behind both a 1 through 9, which this one has both a 2 and a 5, and a decimal, then they count. So 25.00 has how many? All 4. Zeros in the front, do they count?
No.
No, really, there should be a 0 over here in the front. It's not the way that we write numbers, but the 0 at the back, does it count?
Yeah.
So what number should be going in this block? 2. You guys should actually have on the Google Slides, you should be able to enter a number in there. You should be able to click on it. I can't do that right here. What about 100.0? Every time I go down to the bottom, it brings that bar up. Has all 4. Now with my students, I gave them a map of the United States, and the Atlantic Ocean is over here. So if there's no decimal, if it's absent, you skip all the zeros until you hit a 1 through 9, and then you count everything else. And then the Pacific Ocean is on this side of the states. So if it's present, you skip zeros in the front. So you skip zeros until you hit a 1 through 9, and then you count everything else. And it does all 4 rules, and you don't have to memorize anything.
I don't understand how there's 4 of them.
Do you see the decimals?
No.
And you see how it starts with a 1 through 9? It means everybody counts. And like I said, with the map of the United States, with the Pacific Ocean on the left, if it's present, P for present, if you start with a 1 through 9, I don't care where the decimal is. All of the zeros count. That's just a trick that I picked up from the recent district that I worked at. Okay, zeros at the back do not count unless there is a written decimal. Is there a decimal in 7,020?
No.
No. So this one doesn't count, but does the one in the middle, does this one count?
Yes.
So how many does this have?
3.
3. I wish I could write on my board. It's really driving me nuts that this smart ink is just chaotic. You can't use dry erase markers on smart boards. They don't erase. See, here's the smart ink right here, but I want it to go there. And it's not going to let me. I guarantee you it's not going to let me. Escape. Go here. Present. See, it's got it on that tab. Maybe if I move my tab. Ooh, looks like I got it. Oh, but now it doesn't want to load my screen. Okay. Maybe I can write on the board now. How many sig figs? In 2,451.
4.
There are 4 of them here. Let's see if it works.
You skipped the last
I did?
one. The last
Oh, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. This one?
one, like the last 2.
It's 4.
I didn't do these 2. As I was trying to get my ink going. But I got my ink going. This one, the ones in the front, do they count?
No.
No, but does this one count at the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one has how many?
3.
3. Right on my board. It happens.
I just said the back ones don't count.
If there's not a decimal, but because there's a decimal in the front, no, the leading ones don't, but the guy at the back does. Now this one, however, that is a comma. That's not a decimal. I know the 0 in the middle counts, for those of you that are online, if I put my cursor on it. Okay, so this guy does count, but the one at the back, oh, wait, bar, shoo. Okay, this one at the back, does it count? No, because there's no decimal. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I bet you it's not going to let me write this box. Okay, that's 5. Already like halfway through the little bit of time that I have. And now I'm going to have 3, so let me clear my ink. All right. So now over here on the left, 2,451. It has 4. What about 3.82? 3. The zeros in the front count. No, so this one has how many? 3. Over on the right, 700 only has 1 because there is no decimal. This one has 1. The bottom one has 3. This was one of the first, besides safety.
So how do the zeros count on that one?
This one?
Yeah.
Because they're behind both a 1 through 9 and a decimal. Has to have both. If there's no decimal, that's when the zeros in the back do not count. Okay? Let me advance this on. Rounding. I'm gonna need a calculator because I just can't anymore. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what it says. Well, actually, we're gonna write down our sig figs first. How many sig figs are in 2.60? 3. How many is in 32 or 320? 2, because 0 doesn't count. And then 0.0487 is how many? 3. So how many is your answer gonna have? What's the fewest amount? 2. So whatever my calculator says, it can only have 2 real numbers in it. Now I can use my calculator. So 2.60. I have no idea if that calculator lets you type on it. It probably does. 0.0487. Okay, so in my screen, if this works, I don't know if it does or not, my calculator says 40.5184. That's what the calculator says. Calculators do not understand significant digits at all. So if I want 2 numbers, that's the 4 and the 0. Is the 5 enough to round the 0 up?
Yes.
Yes, so what is the actual answer?
41.
41. I don't know what it is, 41 of what. I know if I write down here on the bottom, it's gonna advance the screen. I at least have figured that much out with this smartboard. Oh, number of sig figs in your round answer. I circled it, but that's supposed to be 2.
So, the 6 figs goes. Yeah. So, the number of sig figs in the answer depends on how many in the equation.
The worst factor, which is the fewest amount. Yep. Now, when you add or subtract, then it's a decimal. But when you multiply or divide, which is normally the case in this class, almost always, then it's sig figs. And it's always the worst one. Always the worst one. There's a bunch on this. Hope. I can get through this whole thing in the next few minutes. Measure each object's length, check the units. Okay, well,
You have to move the ruler.
you have to move the ruler, which I can't do from here. Oh, I can do it if I'm not in presentation mode. So if I move my ruler and I line it up, okay, so what would that be? Okay, remember you're supposed to round to 1 after the number, so it's 4 point what? I don't know, is that right on 4? From what I see, seriously, with my eyes, it looks like it's 4.1. I mean, but I'm also right on top of I'm like right on top of it. You guys aren't. Obviously, if you have it in your Chromebook, you can move it up. So what I can see is 4.1. Okay, but remember when you take, if it's right on the 1, you're supposed to round to 1 more number. So if it's right on 4.1, what would the next number be?
0.
A 0. That is the thing that people do not do when it comes to taking measurements. All right, so the paper clip, I move this over onto the paper clip. No, I don't want you to drag the paper clip. I want you to drag the ruler. It's harder than it looks. All right, so I look like I'm at 2.2, but once again, 2.2 isn't right. You would need 1 number after that. So 2.20. Can I drag it with my finger? Oh. No, but I can't see it because it's blurry. I have to do it with the computer screen. Not that my eyes are bad, it's blurry up there. So 4.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But once again, it wouldn't be 4.8. What would it be? 4.8. And then you move that back down here. Let me clear my ink. Where'd my ink go? Yay, I kept the smart on. Come on. Ugh. So what is the volume of the object placed in the water for a graduated cylinder? Okay, so we started at 30. Okay, and we went up to 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so the difference between them would be how many mils? 6. This is called water displacement. Miss Castleberry is setting up a lab for Friday, so we're not going to do the multi-steps, even though we've already done one with time, until next week. I don't know if there is a water displacement in there, but even with Miss Helen, you guys should have done the virtual lab where you dragging the objects around and you were getting them. Haley, put your phone away. Haley. Haley. I did?
Yeah.
No. I don't remember what they. Put your phone away, Haley. I don't remember what day it was. I don't remember what day, but it was a while ago. Anyways, if the mass of the object in the previous slide is 3.3 grams, what would be the density of the object? So we said the volume was how many mils? 6. So we've got, and density is mass divided by volume. So 3.3 would go in the numerator. I'm going to do 6.0 mils. Even though they didn't have the decimal, you would round to one number after what it said, and it was right on it. And then when you put this in the calculator, what? Wait, put 3.3 in first, then divided by, then 6.0. I'm noticing that people are putting their stuff in the wrong way. So my calculator, this is what it says. Okay. Does it match sig figs?
Yes.
Yes. And what's the unit? What's the unit for density in this case? Grams per milliliter. Remember, there's different units for density. If it's a solid, it's going to be a cubic centimeter. A cubic centimeter is the same thing as a milliliter. Milliliter is if it's liquid, and cubic centimeter is if it's a solid. I'm trying to get to the whole thing. Oh, we get to throw darts. You're gonna have to draw them on the paper. Poor accuracy and poor precision. What does that mean? They're gonna be where? Yeah, they're just, it's gonna be like you were blindfolded and you were throwing darts at the thing. So you may have had, oh, I can't. I have to get it off of presentation mode. Okay, so I may have one that's like way up here. Heck, knowing my luck, I'd break one. I'd have one way over there. Maybe one's like over here. I don't know. You can draw these different ways, but if they're close together, that's precision. Okay, if they're right on the target and they're close together, then that's both good accuracy and good precision. But this was wanting to know what it would look like if they were bad. And that's what it would look like, give or take. Your darts may look a little bit different, but they're not going to be clumped all together. Okay, so good accuracy and good precision. We're all in the same spot, but where? Dead center. Because if that is if your bullseye is your goal, then you'd have all 3 of them. That would, oh, I meant that guy to be a little bit, oh, crap. Now they're on top of each other. No. I'm trying to put it in the middle. So it would be something similar to this, which I can't do because I have no skills when it comes to stuff like that at all. All right, so convert the following numbers given in scientific notation to the left into standard form, drag and drop them to match up with their appropriate standard form. All right, so 302,000, where should the decimal be? After what? After the 3. Remember, we only put the sig figs in there. Do these zeros at the back count? No. Okay, so my coefficient is going to be 3.02. And then if I go ahead and present this, it's just going to look really ugly on the slide. But I need to make it bigger for me to see. So if I'm counting my spaces, and I'm going to do it on the top. To go from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 3.02 times 10 to the what? Is it going to be positive or negative 5? Positive. Big numbers have positive powers. Little numbers have negative powers. Okay? It's to get it from here back to there, I have to move the decimal that many places to the right. I'm just gonna write it in the box. I'm not gonna drag it, because, so 3.02, I'm gonna write an E. E means times 10 to the, for those of you that are new to me, and it's gonna be the fifth. So what about this one? This one's gonna go still, well, what's the coefficient gonna be? 3 point what? 2. And then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it gonna be times 10 to the positive or the negative 6?
Positive.
Positive 6. You can write times 10 and then a superscript. But the E, that's what the E means, and it's shorter, and that's one of the few things that I just makes it a little bit quicker. This one's also gonna be 3.02. But now, 1, 2, 3, 4, is it gonna be positive or negative 5? That's a decimal, not a comma. Once again, if your number has a whole bunch of zeros in the front, your power is negative. If it's a big number, which means bigger than 1, it's positive. This one's also 3.02, but now it's going to be times 10 to the what? Count your jumps. 4. This one's 3.2 like that one is, but this one's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be positive or negative 4. Negative 4. I'm hoping that you have a question that's this simple. Write this in standard, or write this in standard or expanded notation. Sometimes they say that. This one's also 3.2, but it's going to be times 10 to the what? This one's 3.02. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So is it going to be positive or negative 6?
Positive.
Positive 6. This one's also 3.2. This one's 3.02. Negative 6. I'm not going to be able to write down there. This one's going to be 3.2, and it's going to be negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 6. I know if I try to write in that box, it's going to advance the screen. This one's 3.02. Yes, negative 3. This one's 3.02. And it's going to be times 10 to the negative 4. There's no way I can write in that box. It's going to go crazy. Advance the screen. Do you need me to go over the other direction? How about I do a few of them, because we've got 10 minutes left and there's still, I might be able to get them all done. Okay, so we're going the other way. Yes, I know the calculators will go in and out of scientific notation for you, but like I said, calculators don't understand significant zeros. You have to be smarter than your calculator. So this is going to move the decimal how many to the right? 4. Okay, now I don't normally do, going to the right, I don't normally do jumps. I count. So 4 places, right? So here's number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3, here's number 4. Yes, you would put a comma in there. Once again, there's nothing wrong with drawing the little jumps and filling in zeros, but as I go to the right, I just count. So this one's only to the third. So here's 1, 2, 3. The next one's 8. That's the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, 8. That's thousands, millions. 510 million is that one. I can't write in the bottom one. Well, this would be one to the left. So it would be 0.51. This one would take it 7 places to the left. So 1 in front of the 5 would be the first jump. You would need 6 more zeros with a decimal and then a 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one. This one right here, we go there. This one's 4 to the left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can draw the jumping things. There's nothing wrong with drawing the little, either on the top or on the bottom. This one's 5 to the right. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I know if you guys are online, you can just drag them over there. I can't. I don't listen to presentation mode. This one's 2 to the right. The next one's 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 51 thousandths. It's 5,000. 3 to the left. That's moving it the first place. Second, third, decimal, 0 in the front. Push. 5.1 times 10 to the negative 2. The 5 is the first jump. 2. And then 5.1 times 10 to the negative 6. Not on here. I don't see it on here. I know I can't write on here. Not this low. I'm going to try. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't see that over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what one. I'm not seeing it, but I'm not seeing it. And I hope that there's a question that's as simple as this, because this is not going in and out of standard is not a big issue. I am still hearing music coming from somebody. Where is it coming from? Match the names of each metric prefix. I can drag and drop this one. Okay, so centi. Which letter represents centi? The lowercase c. What about kilo? And it's supposed to be capitalized. I've noticed that these guys on this side are supposed to be capitalized. Milli is what? M. If the M is by itself, it's a meter, it's a base unit. If it's MM or MG or ML, then it's talking about milli. This is how you do that mu, that lowercase m in Greek for micro. But like I said, we, as a unit, we came together and we said that, nah, we're just going to focus on the ones that are one step to make it easier on y'all. Even though I showed you guys the entire thing from Pico at the small side up to Terra on the big side. Almost done. We got 6 minutes. Xavier ran a race that was 0.625 kilometers long. How many meters did he run? Okay, yeah, so we're gonna, it takes a long time for this thing to go. Okay, so kilometers will go down. Ooh, there's a tear in my board. And then we're changing it to meters. So meter in kilo, kilos further to, or you could count the jumps too. So we go 1, 2, 3 to the right. What would you do to the decimal? So I know it's 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. If I change it into an actual factor, you would multiply, or you guys can just move the decimal 3 to the right using that. So it's going to equal to 625 meters. There's 2 different ways to do it. Not all chemistry and math is going to just be like right here on this board.
And
625 meters. Because the 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. It would be 0.625 times 1,000. Or yes, you can just move the decimal 3 to the right, but it's going to be 625 meters. There are so many different ways to show you how to do metric conversions. And then I think there's one more. Miss Lopez, the science teacher, ordered 100 grams of silver, 400 grams of brass, and 500 grams of copper. So let's add them up first. So that's 1,000. That's 1,000 grams. Okay, so how many kilograms did she order in all? So if I'm starting with 1,000 grams, from grams to kilograms, I'm going 3 to the left. So how many kilos did she order? 1. And it has 1 significant digit. All of those have 1 significant digit in it.
That's the answer?
Mm-hmm. Kilo means 1,000 of. That is what that prefix means. So a kilometer is 1,000 meters. You guys aren't used to metric because we don't use metric in this country. Place equivalent weights on the right to balance the scales. Okay, so 0.4 kilos. So let's change it from kilos to grams. So we're gonna move it 3 to the right. We got 400 grams. So we need to put how many of them on there? 4 of them. So let's see if it actually moves. 1, 2, 3. What if I put 5 on there? Will it move? No. I thought maybe it would do something cool. But no, it's going to be a total of 400 grams. Now, we only have like 3 minutes, but okay, I wanted to show you. So for those of you that have been digital only, your notes are going to be digital. You should have them somewhere in your Chromebook. I would create, and I can show you how to do this after the test. The test is not going to take forever tomorrow. It's 10 questions. This is what we have done this 6 weeks. The only one that we did not get to is 2-step. That is notes 10. They are literally labeled notes 1 through 9. So I will make a list of the actual titles for you, and I'll put that up while you guys are taking your test. If you are a Learning Lab person and I've noted it down, I'll help pass for you. You guys are going to get a QR code. If you need anything read out loud, where you would scan this with your phone and it will actually read the questions out to you. So you do not have to go to the Learning Lab if you want to stay in here, if you need that particular assistance. Okay, so either I would keep these to study. If you have a Google, like if you're doing it digitally, you can submit it. But I want, for those of you that did it on paper, don't turn those in until tomorrow because that's how you can study. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna double check online and make sure more people didn't show up. I didn't hear anybody ding. I am recording this. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording actually right now. And I'm going to embed it into my